Let's talk about the YouTube dislike button. So I think we chatted about the fact that we won't miss it last week. Well, not so much the dislike button, the dislike count. Funny enough, so the anti-removal has continued. People have been very much against it, opposed to it, and I think I've changed my stance as well. I think what's come out is if the way we the position that we were in was a result of or our stance was a result of the fact that we consumed YouTube in a certain way. I think, speaking for myself, I have sort of trusted YouTubers that I watch and listen to. I don't really treat YouTube like a search engine where a lot of people do. I mean, YouTube's considered the second most popular search engine in the world, second to Google, which owns YouTube. Yeah, so naturally, there are a lot of YouTube videos that are surfaced by Google around things like, and electrical work or health. There's, I guess, factual information that's surfaced by YouTube or on YouTube, and the dislike count has helped people historically sort of understand, is this content close to correct, or if the dislike count is really really high, the fact that maybe it isn't accurate, or maybe the general consensus is that it isn't, or it's sort of 50-50. It's close to being correct, but it's not as because it's not, in a lot of areas, it's not like we're struggling to find content about a specific thing, right? Like, there's heaps of content out there, so this really just helps us pick out the good ones from the bad. One thing that I heard some people comment on, though, is that suggestions of like, surely YouTube could have sort of added more complexity to it so that they pulled out the people who were just spamming dislikes versus the people who are genuinely disliking it because of the content. Like, watch for how long they watched the video for before they disliked, for example, which is fair comment, but it just comes back to, I think we've had this conversation about Facebook and news on Facebook as well in the past, about how much work should Google or YouTube as a platform, or any other platform, put into sort of surfacing information. Like, the way I see it, from a business point of view, YouTube might as well just remove the dislike count. Like, it's so much easier than having to set up a system where they watch, okay, how long did Kelsey watch this video before she disliked it, and then what impact does that have? Do they then sort of say, okay, so that is definitely a genuine dislike, and then you can just get bots to do that. You can just get bots to watch videos for a long period of time, then dislike it. The thing is, all this has such an impact on people's lives in both senses. As a consumer, if you get incorrect information, that can be detrimental. But as a content producer, if you try and get, if someone else tries to cancel you and their community just comes and really attacks you, bombards you, especially when you're a small creator, I think it can have a real serious impact. I just wonder whether, like, ultimately, if there is even a right answer.
Yeah. I'm still of the stance that I think it's good that they have removed the count. But I guess if people were after more transparency and things like that, I don't know. I go back to review sites. And review sites, when you have, 1-star rating, let's say, most of the time they ask you to have a comment. So then you can go through the comments of the 1-star reviews and see why they're 1-star reviews. And a lot of the time, it's just people being like, I didn't actually order this, I just don't like it. Or you can sort of pick out the ones that are genuine 1-star reviews and the ones that are just idiots that don't really understand how the review system works.
Well, I saw a bad review the other day for a product on Bunnings, and I sort of thought, oh, interesting, because there was one 2-star review, and it said that they didn't get a notification when it was ready to collect, and that was why they gave it a 2-star review.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not the product's fault, and I guess that's an example of what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like if you were to do a similar thing on YouTube, that would probably work. So then you can actually get qualified dislikes or qualified, reviews, whatever you want to call them. Maybe that's a solution to it. Yeah, I still stand by the fact that it's good that they've removed the dislike. But if people are not happy about it, maybe more of a review system with qualified reviews is a better way to do it.
That's true, because at the moment we're treating videos that are on an entertainment site as videos on an educational site almost. And yeah, but yeah, it's a tough one, because then it puts the question around, maybe they just have to flag and mark, certain types of videos, to be able to be reviewed, quote unquote reviewed, because like we're thinking about doing a tour of our office and offices spaces. We wouldn't necessarily want that to be reviewed, like that would be a weird thing, because it's just a piece of information. There's no right or wrong there. It's just, this is what it is. And that's not a weird thing to sort of do anyway, because you already see that on Google. There are, search results that are surfaced that are reviews, so you can see a star rating even before you click into the search results. And then there are just general information. There's news articles. So there's a lot there. There's a lot of precedent there to treat YouTube almost like a video version of Google, which, if people are using it like that, I certainly learn a lot from YouTube, because I treat it like a Google, but in video/audio form. I would say most of the time I'm not actually watching YouTube, I'm listening to YouTube. So maybe that's the direction that they need to head in.